Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and I want to tell you a little bit about myself before we get started. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Florida, a master's degree in education from Armstrong Atlantic State University, and a doctorate in education from Georgia Southern University. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a member of both the American Board of Hypnotherapy and the National Guild of Hypnotists, and I'm president of the American Alliance of Hypnotists. I'm the director of the Steve G. Jones School of Clinical Hypnotherapy. I also serve on the board of directors of the American Lung Association in Los Angeles. I have over 2 decades of experience in hypnotherapy, and I still maintain a busy practice and teaching schedule because I see clients and teach classes worldwide. My client base consists mainly of people who want to lose weight, stop smoking, or gain confidence. Other clients include sales teams interested in boosting motivation and increasing income. Also, singles looking for love, insomniacs desiring proper sleep, and actors desiring more confidence for their next audition. When I travel to see clients and teach hypnotherapy certification classes around the world, I visit such places as Tokyo, Japan, Barcelona, Spain, Paris, France, London, England, Montreal, Canada, Los Angeles, California, and New York, just to name a few. By the way, since you have an interest in hypnosis, perhaps you would be interested in becoming a certified clinical hypnotherapist. It's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com, and click on Hypnosis Classes at the top. You can either train in person or online. After your training, you'll be added to our worldwide directory of certified clinical hypnotherapists, and you'll receive a certificate. I was fortunate for many years to have my office in Beverly Hills, California, where I worked with such wonderful people as Tom Mankiewicz, the writer of Superman, Geraldine Saunders, the writer of The Love Boat, and many other celebrities. I have been interviewed on CNN, Fox News, and appeared on True TV, in addition to having my own hypnosis TV show. With my over 20 years of experience, I'm happy to share with you techniques that I've both developed and learned, which can help you improve your life. I encourage you to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. There you will find my life's work, 22 books on hypnotherapy, over 3,000 hypnosis recordings available as downloadable MP3s or CDs, and these recordings will program your mind to achieve goals in such areas as weight loss, motivation, and stopping smoking. I also have audiobooks, such as this one, where I'm talking with you and sharing with you in a very dynamic way techniques that you can use to improve your life and the way you do things. The reason I'm telling you all of this is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that I, your teacher, am very capable and I know what I'm talking about. I'm also very happy for the opportunity to share this information with you, so rest assured that you're in good hands, and let's have some fun as we now expand your knowledge. I wish you well in all of your endeavors, and please be sure to visit my website, betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Hi, I'm Steve G. Jones, clinical hypnotherapist, and let's go ahead and jump into the material for brain power and brain enhancement. Now, we're only beginning to realize the full potential of our brains. The mind is so complex that we have only begun to understand what we are really capable of achieving. In order to get the most out of my brain enhancement techniques, it's important to consider the brain as a source of unlimited logic, unlimited memory, unlimited imagination, and unlimited creativity. However, we need to remember that the brain is an essential organ in the physical body. It engineers life and movement. Physical health is just as important to your brain as it is to the rest of your body in order for you to have optimal performance. When you consider how essential the role of the brain is, you will be able to get the most out of your full mind potential. So I want you to take care of yourself, and your brain will take care of everything else. Start with the basic building blocks of nutritional health as well as you possibly can. Try to incorporate what we call brain power foods into your daily diet whenever possible. And try to avoid foods which cause your brain and body damage. So what do I mean by brain power foods? Well, these include lean fish, beef, avocados, a wide variety of fresh fruits and vegetables, eggs, brown rice, flaxseed oil, legumes, milk, oatmeal, wheat germ, and yogurt. Try to eat organic, unprocessed foods whenever your situation and budget allow. Try to avoid foods such as soda and white bread, or anything that contains hydrogenated oils and saturated fats. Also avoid things that contain food coloring or artificial sweeteners. Avoid alcohol and nicotine whenever possible, and try not to overeat at meals, because this will make you feel sluggish. Make sleep a priority. Now, I want you to avoid oversleeping. Don't get into the habit of trying to catch up on sleep on weekends or at any time that you're tired. Your body works in a very delicate temperature cycle that is dictated by your sleep patterns. Once the pattern is disrupted by irregular sleep, it's difficult to feel truly rested and until your body is back on a predictable cycle. Recognize your body's natural sleep response. You may feel as though you're very tired after a long day of sitting at a desk or staring at a computer screen, even though you had very little physical activity. This is because your body's natural sleep response is in effect. After sitting for several hours with very little movement, your body temperature decreases, which sends the signal to your brain that it is time to go to sleep. Your body temperature also decreases around your usual bedtime. So your brain and body respond to this familiar feeling. So you may feel exhausted from sitting down all day. So take quick breaks for physical activity to keep your temperature from falling throughout the day. Sometimes a quick walk is all you need. Take a power nap. A short power nap can help you feel as refreshed as if you had slept for several hours. If you check out betterlivingwithhypnosis.com, you'll find that there's a power nap recording that you can use. You can use it to take a nap during the day, and at the end of the recording, it brings you back up to full awakening consciousness, vigorous and full of energy. That's available at betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Make sure to limit your nap to 45 minutes or less. If you sleep for longer than this during a power nap during the day, you will most likely fall into a very deep sleep and wake up groggy. The recording I mentioned helps you limit your nap. You may even feel more tired than If you don't limit your nap, you may even feel more tired than before you took your nap. Make time for physical fitness. It is important to incorporate physical activity throughout your day in order to keep your body temperature up. Make sure to take several short breaks throughout your workday, such as a quick walk before you return to your desk. One of the things I like to do to break up my day is to take a break to eat and to also take a bike ride. What I find is that just by driving, I get out in the fresh air and it feels very invigorating. Then when I go for the bike ride, it's very relaxing. Also, I'm meeting my body's requirement for keeping my temperature up so that I don't start to lag. That way I come back refreshed, I've had a wonderful experience, I've gotten some fresh air, and I'm going to avoid feeling tired later on. Here are some things that you can do. You can take the stairs instead of the elevator whenever possible. You can try to park your car several blocks away from your destination so that you're able to fit in a quick walk outside to and from your car. And, as I mentioned, bike riding is wonderful, but you can also use bike riding instead of driving. If that works for you, you can take a bicycle to certain places instead of a vehicle. Although a daily workout routine is ideal, even small bursts of physical activity will give you the energy to feel empowered all day. And you will find that a regular exercise routine will keep you more alert during the day. Instead of making you more tired, it will give you the energy that you need to power through even the most stressful day. An exercise routine is most effective when you work out in the morning, since this will make your body temperature rise and you will feel energized throughout the day. If you work out in the evening, your raised body temperature may be more difficult to lower, and you may find that you have difficulty falling asleep. Remember, your body recognizes a lower temperature as a signal to go to sleep. Well, let's talk about working your brain out, because we're talking about brain power, brain enhancement. What can we do to work out our brains? Challenge your brain consistently. I can't emphasize this enough. Get in the habit of challenging yourself on little things on a day-to-day basis. Take an IQ test, for example. Although there are many conflicting opinions as to whether these tests are accurate, taking them occasionally is an easy way to track your progress with your brain workouts. You can easily find IQ tests on the internet. Now, I wonder if you're one of those people who thought that your IQ cannot change over time or that there's nothing you can do to enhance your IQ score. Well, first of all, your IQ can change over time because you can become more keenly aware of certain things in your environment and you can be better able to put things together in your mind. That's what an IQ test is based on, your ability to assimilate information in your environment. Also, your test score can increase because sometimes you're better rested, your brain is more nourished, and you're more alert. So you can find that there can be variability in your IQ test scores for those two reasons. Here's another thing you can do. You can shop without a list. Force your brain to remember your grocery and errand lists. You can use tricks such as visualizing everything you need from the supermarket in your basket, noticing each item separately. Try to map out your route for all of your errands before you leave home, and you will learn that you can improve your memory enough to leave home without your list. Strengthen your brain by strengthening your senses. Try to remove one of your senses. Enjoy a concert while you keep your eyes closed, for example. Try to follow a movie with the sound turned off. Eat something with complex flavors with your eyes closed and try to name the ingredients. These exercises, though they may seem strange to you, actually help you improve the strength of your brain by strengthening your senses. Break your brain's routines. For example, if you have trouble with time management, instead of clearing your schedule and finding more free time, find ways to overschedule yourself and manage a way to attend all of your obligations. Now, don't do this on a regular basis, but if you challenge your brain every now and then, you'll find that your brain can actually stretch and grow and find new solutions to challenges that you throw before it. That way it's going to be more likely to be able to solve other problems that naturally occur in the future. Challenge your current assumptions. Argue both sides of a debate to truly be knowledgeable on a given topic or situation. Don't assume that your first position is the correct one. Try to convince yourself of the opposite to test the strength of your assumptions. Switch your dominant hand. If you are either right-handed or left-handed, switch the hand you use to write. You have a dominant hand, probably. Unless you're one of those people who can use both hands equally well, it's called ambidextrous. By the way, do you know what it's called when neither hand is very good at writing or anything? That's called ambisinister. That's actually a word, ambisinister. So, assuming you're not ambidextrous or ambisinister, the opposite of ambidextrous, and you have a dominant hand, switch hands when you write. Switch your mouse and mouse pad to the other hand when you sit at the computer. It may feel a little weird at first, but this weird feeling is your brain getting a workout. Challenge your brain power in a variety of ways. You can challenge your lateral thinking skills. Solve a Rubik's Cube, for example. Remember Rubik's Cubes from the 80s? Well, they're kind of making a comeback a little bit. They're still around here and there, so get a Rubik's Cube and solve it. Solve puzzles of different shapes. I remember when the Rubik's Cube came out, shortly after that, all kinds of strange-shaped puzzles came out that were very similar. Solve number puzzles and riddles. Find challenging crossword puzzles. Play a game of chess once in a while. All of these things serve to open your mind. Force yourself to remember as much as possible. At the end of the day, try to list every single thing you have done or eaten. Try to remember everyone's name that you meet at a party. Try to recall phone numbers and addresses before looking them up. Be more mindful, and you can do this by improving your routines. You may have taken the same route to work for so long that you hardly need to pay attention to where you're headed. You sort of go into a hypnosis while you're doing it, don't you? You kind of space out. That's a possibility. Maybe you are in that category. Maybe you have taken the same route for so long that it's just a non-event for you. In fact, sometimes maybe you don't even remember the trip. So challenge yourself to edit your route. Find a shortcut. It will force you to pay attention to your route. Even though you may think you know it blindfolded, it'll force you to pay attention. Find as many alternative routes as possible to reach a destination that you are familiar with. This opens your mind, causes you to think. You're no longer going through your life as sort of a zombie, but you're paying attention. You're being mindful of what's going on, and your brain is going to expand from it. All right, let's take a little break now. I want to make sure that you're with me, that you're paying attention and that you're learning something. So, what I want you to do right now is if you're driving and you can pull over, go ahead and do that. If you're not driving, then you can definitely do this. You can take out a piece of paper and you can write down 5 things that you've learned so far from what I've said. 5 things that resonated with you. Now, I want you to keep in mind, they don't even have to be 5 things that I said. Maybe you got some good ideas from what I said. Maybe I said something and your brain took it and blew it up a million times and came up with all kinds of wonderful, amazing possibilities based on what I said. If that's the case, then feel free to write that down. I just want you to write down 5 things, whether they came from me or they're just thoughts that came in your head. 5 things that have come to you so far, either from me saying them or from you thinking them, as a result of listening to this program so far. So as I'm silent, I'm going to give you ample time now. I want you to write down 5 things, 5 thoughts that you have as a result of listening to this program so far. Do this now. Okay, do you have your 5 things? If not, go ahead and finish them up. 5 things, write them down. So I'm going to move forward now. Let's take those 5 things that you have written down, and I want you to elaborate on them. For example, if you have an insight number 1, that's I should change blank about myself, whatever it may be, I want you to elaborate on that. Whatever you've written down for point number 1, something that's come to you during listening to this program, I want you to elaborate on that now as I'm silent. Good. And now I want you to take point number 2 and elaborate on that. What was the second point that you wrote down, and how can you enhance this idea? I want you to make it real for yourself because I want you to have, after you finish this program, something you can use. So on point number 2, elaborate on it. Consider what you wrote down as point number 2, the foundation. Now build a house on it. Go ahead and write down something now as I'm silent. Good. Now you're getting some momentum. Now for point 3. Point number 3 that you wrote down, something that came to you as you listened to this program. I want you to elaborate on point number 3 as I'm silent. Good. Now take point number 4, the fourth point that you wrote down, something that came to you while you're listening to this program. I want you to elaborate on point number 4 as I'm silent. Great. Last but not least, point number 5. Take point number 5 and elaborate on it as I'm silent. Good. So now you have something that you can take with you after this program. You have those 5 points that you elaborated on, and you can use them after this program's over. So let's continue on with the information now.